The U.S. national anthem will be sung by Naldine Philippe. The Israel national anthem will be sung by Rabbi Dr. Lawrence Tushinsky. And Jessica Wolin will interpret the Israel national anthem in English.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Followed by of Penima, Nefesh Yehudi Homia, Ulifate Mizrach Kadima, Ayin Letzion Sophia, Od Lavida Tikvateinu, Hatikva bat Shnot Alpayim, Liot Amecha V'shi Be'artzeinu Eretz Tzion Yerushalayim, Liot Amecha V'shi Be'artzeinu Eretz Tzion Yerushalayim.
Hatikva means the hope. It was written in a poem written by Naftali Hertz Imber, who moved to Palestine in 1882. As long as deep in the heart, the soul of a Jew yearns, and forward to the east, to Zion an eye looks. Our hope will not be lost. The hope of 2,000 years. To be a free nation in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem.
Thank you for that. Good evening again to all of you. I'm Barbara Kramer, a former North Miami Beach City Commissioner. And beyond my prior role, I proudly identify as a Jewish American. And it is my privilege to serve as your host this evening. Before we begin tonight's program, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for being here. I also wish to express my sincere thanks to Mayor Desilme and the City of North Miami for organizing this Israel Solidarity Rally. Mayor, your unwavering commitment to this cause is deeply appreciated. As a Jewish individual who feels a profound sense of shock, horror, and emotional exhaustion in the wake of recent events, it is heartening to be among a community that may not resemble the typical gatherings across South Florida. This is where I find solace and solidarity. The entire Jewish community is grappling with the distressing events of late, witnessing the support from those who are not of our faith, particularly during these tumultuous times, instills a glimmer of hope. It reminds us that our neighbors, community, leaders, and elected officials share our concerns and are equally appalled by the unfathomable acts that occurred last Saturday. Your understanding and support not only for the State of Israel and its citizens, but also for the Jewish individuals in your midst, holds profound significance. I want you all to understand the depth of this meaning. Together, we become not only more united, but also stronger. And now more than ever, unity is the call of the hour. I'd like to now introduce to you North Miami Mayor, Dr. Alex Desilme.
Thank you so much, Barbara, my longtime friend and colleague. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Desilme, the mayor of the great city of North Miami. Along with my colleagues, would you guys please come up as Councilman Scott Galvin, Councilman Franz-Pierre Charles, I know Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy is here, and our Vice Mayor, Marie Estime Irving. Please come forward. But I want to welcome, more importantly, I want to welcome our residents and you all with love and in solidarity as we stand in solidarity with the State of Israel. As one of the most diverse cities here in the state of Florida, we stand with our brothers and sisters with their loved one in the state of Israel that was affected by the vicious attack that occurred this past weekend. It is a tragedy. The innocent lives were lost at the hands of terrorists. And let me say this correct and right. Hamas terrorists, full stop. Over 1,000 civilians were killed, including innocent children. And as an educator, that hits home. And our personal staff, folks here had family members who've been killed. This really affects all of us in the city of North Miami. This cannot be tolerated. Safety is not only an American right, it's a human right issue for all. I understand firsthand, as a Haitian American, this type of violence, destruction, and fear, when evil destruct a country and its people, that we know. And this is why it's personal to me. And as a Haitian American, not only we stand with our brothers and sisters of Israel, we are there and we will do whatever that we can. The city of North Miami has a small, vibrant Jewish community in comparison to our surrounding cities. But we must all advocate for justice when we see something is not right. And what happened this weekend was not right. Today, we stand shoulder to shoulder as we unite against senseless attack that happened to the great people of the state of Israel. We want Israel in its people to know the city of North Miami stands with you, and we love you all. I want to thank my elected officials, civic leaders, when we made the call, who joined us today in giving hopes. I'm going to ask my colleagues to please keep your comments for a few minutes as you give your remarks. With that, I say thank you. Thank you for being here. God bless America. God bless Israel and its great people, and we will rise together. Thank you.
Shalom, shalom. Good afternoon. I am Vice Mayor Mary Esther May Irvin. Thank you for being here to stand with the great city of North Miami as we rally and pray to end the senseless attack on the state of Israel. I am hoping for a future where peace prevail and where our brothers and sisters can live in safety and free from hurt or danger. If nothing else in this life has taught me, violence begets violence. We are hopeful for a better days in the state of Israel and throughout this world. There is no place for hatred or discord. I pray for all the families here and abroad that have lost loved ones and have yet to find out if they are safe. We will remember them this day and the days ahead in our thoughts and prayer. North Miami is a melting pot of cultures, religions, and ideals, but unified in our stance for peace. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Good evening. Name is Pierre Fon Charles, Councilman, District 4, City of North Miami. And today, I just want to say this to all my brothers and sisters of Israel. As President George W. Bush said, one day after the attack on 9/11, as he stood on the rubble of the World Trade Center, he said that either you're with me or you're against me. And today, I want all of you to know that we, from the great city of North Miami, we stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Israel. We are in it together, and I mean it, because wrong is wrong, however you put it. So please, let's work together, let's stand together, let's pray together. May let it be known that Israel will stand. Israel was not created to disappear, and we are in it together with Israel. Thank you very much. May God continue to bless you.
Good evening. My name is Scott Galvin. I'm on the North Miami City Council. I've been on the council for 25 years, and I look through the room tonight and I see a lot of friends that I haven't seen in a while, and it's really heartwarming to see you. And I'm sorry that these are the circumstances that bring us together. But I'm not sorry in the sense that North Miami stands united in the fight that's before us. As a Christian man, I stand with the Jewish community in this fight. As an openly gay man, I stand with Israel in the fight that is at the doorstep. I am so thankful that all of you are here. Please know that this council, our mayor, and our entire citizenry are with the state of Israel in this time of darkness. Thank you for being here tonight. Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy.
Good evening, everyone. Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy. And again, thank you, Mayor, for leading this charge as we just pray for unity in our country, as we pray for peace in our country, and as we pray that today is, I think, is World Be Kind Day, where we can just learn to be kind to one another. So again, thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for being here this evening.
And we thank you for those very meaningful and heartfelt words. I'd now like to introduce Mayor Elbaz Sterinsky, Consulate General for Florida and Puerto Rico in Miami.
I'm the Consul General of Israel in Miami. And I've been running around in the past few days, well, I've been running around in the past few years trying to do good things and to represent Israel with pride and joy and spread to the world all the great things that this beautiful and wonderful country has created and established in its 75 years of existence. But in the last 3 years, I've been running around with a nothing but the deepest agony and pain that one could probably bear. In the past few days, our beloved state of Israel, the place that we hold so dear, we call home, Jews and non-Jews alike, is going through one of the darkest moments in its 75 years of history. 3 days ago, our lives had turned upside down. Hundreds of Iran perpetrated Hamas terrorists infiltrated Israel and murdered more than 1,200 people and counting. Now it's incredible because when I gave the first speech just a couple of days ago, it was 200. And then 500, 600, 800, 900. Over here it still writes 900. And I just crossed it and changed the number. And tomorrow I'll change the number again. Maybe even tonight. They murder them in the cruelest and meanest ways one can or cannot imagine, actually. More than 2,700 were wounded. More than 100 are missing. And we're still counting. People were set on fire. Women raped, mutilated, maimed, burned, shot, butchered. 40 babies decapitated. They put youngsters in parties, encircled them with pickup trucks and shot them with machine guns, like the evil days of the Holocaust. People were herded on pickup trucks and taken to the Hamas tunnels in Gaza. Men, women, children, babies, elderly, dancing youngsters, grandparents with their grandchildren. Whole families, parents, grandparents, and their 3, 4 children murdered. You can see probably the footage all across the social media. I urge you, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Keep your kids away of it, keep your friends away with it, don't watch it. You will lose any faith in humanity ever again. If somebody had any doubt, it cannot get any clearer now. This is not about political issues or political conflicts. This is not about territory. This is not about even opposite values or cultural difference. This is a fight between evil and good. This is a fight between darkness and light. And if somebody doesn't know on which side they stand, they are part of the problem. As day goes by, the magnitude of this cruel, deathful nature of this attack is being revealed. It dawned on me that it's more than a terroristic attack, albeit monstrous. Let it dawn on you. On a Shabbat morning, a holiday, a Saturday, a holiday, people were going to the shul, and there were attacks. People were gathering for the holidays, and there were attacks in their homes, inside the state of Israel. Think about it, we all go home later tonight. What would happen if we didn't feel safe at our homes with our kids? I mean, you cannot bear this life. 1,000 people were murdered at their homes and transported to their deaths. This is a pogrom. This is a genocidal attack. These Hamas terrorists that infiltrated Israel with one aim only, to kill as many Jews as possible, just like medieval times, just like the Holocaust days. This is an attempt to achieve their ultimate goal, which is the goal of their perpetrators from Iran to destroy the state of Israel and the Jewish people. Iran is behind this evil, all the evil in the Middle East and beyond. And Iran is everybody's problem. We've been saying that for decades, and it's clearer now more than ever. We're just in the first inning of this war. There's a long war ahead of us. A long and gruesome battle is ahead of us. We are determined to destroy Hamas. We will have many more casualties. But we are determined to eliminate Hamas, or we will not bring justice to these victims and to all the soldiers that are now in the front line, including my very old brother, nephew, and Mary friends. My brother is there at the moment. He lost 8 comrades on the first day of battle, including a Florida son, which I had to notify his family just 2 days ago. Think about how close our communities are. My brother in Israel fought shoulder to shoulder with somebody who felt protecting Israel, and his family is here, and I had to notify them. We are heartbroken, but we are resolute. Have no mistake. The war to eliminate Hamas and its allies have gone underway, and rest assured, we will prevail. We will prevail. The Jews are not defenseless anymore, and the Jews are not stateless anymore. The state of Israel will do everything that it needs, everything that it can to protect Jews everywhere, and certainly the citizens of Israel. President Biden gave an incredible speech yesterday, and we are so grateful to the support of the United States of America. We are so grateful to the support of the great state of Florida, all the way from the governors down through the state legislators, Democrats on and Republicans alike. When it comes to the state of Israel, when it comes to protecting our beautiful Jewish community here in Florida, there are no differences. And this event here exemplifies exactly the sense of connectivity that we have between our community, between our people, between our states. Let me please end with one short blessing for the security of the state of Israel and for the security of the soldiers that we have over there fighting in the front line. Adonai עוז לעמו ייתן, Adonai יברך את עמו בשלום. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to bring up Rabbi Lang, who will do a prayer for peace in Israel, a prayer for the IDF soldiers. Okay, okay. Sounds good. Kaddish, which is the mourner's prayer for those who died. And then he may want to say a few words, I'm sure.
Mizmele David Adonai Roi Lord Sabi no Jesses Abatseni Al Mim no Choti Nachaleni. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I'm going to paraphrase, yea, though I walk through the shadow of death. We are all walking through the valley of the shadow of death. But at the end it says, but we will be okay because of a God. That is our hope. We as Jews, my family who have served, we are different. Not a question of better. We are different. We warn before we attack. We spare the innocent. Not this time. You can't hear me. Not this time. I'm going to say something that's probably not fair, but there are no innocent. Yes, I know there are Palestinians living there that are good people. But when good people fail to stand up and do something to fight against evil, they're complicit. If not now, it will happen again. It is not our vengeance that is taking place, it is our survival that is at stake. Now the world supports us. In a week or two, they will turn against us. The fact that you have members of Congress not answering if it's disgusting, horrible, and unacceptable to cut the heads off of babies. No comment from members of Congress. In New York, in Fort Lauderdale, in Tampa, thousands of people marching, saying, also in Australia, gas the Jews. They just saw this horrible situation. Understand, we are hated. That should hopefully bring all of us together. My close friend, Rabbi Lipschitz, Chabad, we have certain views that are different, but we are close friends. And as people have said in the Holocaust, no one turned to each other to ask if you're Reform or conservative, where you're from. We were all and are all Jews. And that means we are all part of Israel. No other country in the history has ever been attacked, captured land, returned it, and then funded it. People are always mistaking kindness for weakness, and Israel is not weak. Not this time. We always say never again. This time, we hope and pray that that is the outcome. Never again. We all ultimately hope for peace. Osei shalom b'miramav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. I'm going to ask people to stand for the Kaddish. By the way, the Kaddish does not say anything about those who have perished. It makes the declarative statement that we believe in God in spite of what's happening, and we know that no matter what is happening, it is God who will allow us to prevail. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, bi'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'galav v'yizman kari v'yimru. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Osei shalom b'mrumav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. A special note to most people that are here. When Haiti had their horrible situation with the earthquake, Israel was the first one there. Israel was the last to leave. I know about the close bond. Even when our enemies have a crisis, Israel offers to go there and usually does go there. Israel is special. We are all Israel. May we all one day be able to go in peace, and we all will go there soon. Be well and God bless. Amen.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai.
Thank you again. Now I'd like to introduce the Honorable State Representative Fabian Basabe, District 106.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with a quote. "We can forgive you for killing our children, but we will never forgive you for making us kill yours." Words spoken by Golda Meir, former Prime Minister of Israel. Now, forgiveness is a very sensible sentiment. And like a river flowing, it changes, it rises, and subsides in our hearts and is so personal and so personally justifiable. It holds neither absolute nor knitted boundaries. It is never conclusive nor linear. But so is revenge and retaliation. I took a personal vow of honesty to my constituents when I took office almost a year ago. And today I honor this and let you know that I can't find in my heart any forgiveness towards those who attacked your community. Your children, your parents, your sisters, your brothers, and your land. This is not now, never was, nor will ever be, by any reason remotely close to good enough. No belief, no faith, no riches, no territory, nothing can ever justify this. Terrorists who take advantage of a moment of celebration to devastate civilians, I can't find any forgiveness for that. Terrorists who laugh, revel, take joy in hostages, holding women and children, terrified sacrificial lambs, aware that they are destined to an eventual death. I can find no forgiveness for this. Terrorists dancing over dead bodies of innocent people. This is not humanity. It is true, they are monsters. And I will find no forgiveness for this. The funding, the support, the questioning and justifications of other nations, I can find no forgiveness for this either. Israel and its people are asked to summon extraordinary courage. Our local Jewish community has reached out to me, concerned about the current political climate of our nation. And I am here to tell you, in your beautiful town and the rest of this beautiful district, I will do everything I can to make sure you are safe. Here, let us all follow in the example of Israel and show extraordinary courage. And we do this to honor the scared children, the women and men, and the members of Israeli families who right now at this very moment are in the hands of Hamas. We will do this for them. Our courage is for them. And I stand with Israel. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support, Representative Basabe. Now I'd like to introduce the Honorable State Representative Marie Woodson from District 105.
Good evening. I would like to start by thanking Mayor Alex Dezume, the entire council, our North Miami men and women in blue, and the entire staff for sending a strong message in North Miami that we stand with Israel. We stand with our Jewish families in this community. We all have witnessed this week on the TV screens the senseless acts of murder, torture, our women, children, families. This is unbearable. And as a mother, as a woman, as a state representative, I cannot stand and not saying that I stand with Israel. The collective message that I want to send is Hamas cannot prevail. Hamas will not prevail. Evil does not prevail. Cowards cannot prevail. But you know what can prevail? The people of Israel. They will continue to stand strong. The resilience of the people of Israel will continue as it has always been. We all black, white, Hispanics, Asian, Baptists, Catholics, everyone needs to stand with the Jews. We need to stand with Israel. Because when one is hurt, we all hurt. This is a human cause. It's not just the Jewish families. It's not just Israel. We all need to continue to stand together with Israel, and I commend President Biden for the support that he has shown thus far, and we expect him to continue to support and stand with Israel. As a Haitian American, I want to send a message to my Haitian people because Israel has always stood with Haiti. Haïtien pareil moi yo, m'a dit nou, an nou camper ensemble avec Juif yo, avec Israël, parce que ça qui a passé a, li pas bon, c'est evil qui a passé dans le pays a, et c'est pour nous camper avec eux, pour nous dire nous camper ensemble. So we will continue to stand with Israel and our Jewish family. You can count on me as a state legislator, as a woman, as a mother, as a Haitian American as well. Let's stand together and support Israel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Woodson. Your sentiments are so uplifting, and for so many of us, it's what we need right now, and it's very much appreciated. I'd like to now bring up Cantor Dimitri.
It's going to be a prayer for Israel. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael Goalol. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael Goalol. Barek Medinat Israel, Reshit Tzmicha Gulateinu, Agena Leyai, Bebrat Chazdecha, Prosaleyai, Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orchai. Vamitcha lerasheyai, sareya veyatzeyai, v'taknehem be'etza tova milfanechai. Chazek et yedei mignei eretz kodshenu, v'yechilim Eloheinu Yeshua, v'ateren nitzachon tiazrem, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam liashvei. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael Goalol. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael Goalol. Venomar, Venomar, Amen.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Now, I'd like to bring up Brenda Coons Newman, Chief Integrity Officer from Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniel Cava Levine.
Hello and good evening. Thank you so much to the City of North Miami, to the council and Mr. Mayor and your new police chief. Congratulations again. And thank you to everyone for coming tonight. I'm Brenda Newman. I'm the Chief Integrity Officer in the office of Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava. In such a terrible time, it is so wonderful to see so many different faces from so many different walks of life and communities. And personally, this is why I love Miami. Miami-Dade County, you don't see this everywhere. This is very moving. Thank you. Mayor Levine Cava sent me tonight. Unfortunately, she couldn't come personally, but she wanted truly to convey sincerely and very strongly that we stand together, strong for Israel. Yes. We are strengthened by each other's support and love tonight and by the power of this community as we come together in unity and in peace and in prayer. And it's beautiful to see all of us together in solidarity. Rabbis, faith leaders of all kinds, many people from our Jewish community and Jewish community-based organizations, friends, our legislators, allies. We're so touched by how our Jewish and non-Jewish communities alike across Miami-Dade are standing with Israel against terrorism in this unimaginably difficult time. What occurred over the weekend was truly horrific. The devastating attacks on Israeli citizens, senseless acts of violence, have reverberated around the world. We're especially torn to hear of American lives lost, so many unaccounted for, hostages, and for the children. Can't even talk about it. Mayor Levine Cava is proud to be the first Jewish mayor of Miami-Dade County, one of the largest and most vibrant Jewish communities in the States. And she knows the challenges that Jews face in our country and across the world in the 21st century, that they are increasing and that they hit very close to home. We've celebrated Israel's progress. We've celebrated their democracy, their innovative spirit, passion for life, and we've watched hopeful that Israel will live in peace in the region and in the world. Having friends stand beside you in troubled times does not automatically make troubled times disappear. But you always remember the help and the prayer and the kindness of those who stand with you when you are in need. And Miami-Dade stands with the people of Israel, with their right to defend themselves against acts of terror, and their right as a nation to live in peace. We will continue to come together, to stand together to champion democracy, peace, and human rights around the world. This community, we will continue. Together, we must work to create a world without violence and peace among nations. Thank you to everyone who's here today. We pray for peace for all Israel and around the world. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael vimru. May the one who makes peace in the high places bring peace upon us and upon all Israel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce Josh Sales, Community Relations Director from the Greater Miami Jewish Federation.
Thank you to the city of North Miami for hosting this really important event. We have a lot of support for Israel right now in Congress, a lot of support, but it's not unanimous, and it's unanimous in this room. And thank you for leading by example. In April, we, the Greater Miami Jewish Federation, led more than 800 members of our community on a week-long mission to Israel to celebrate its 75th anniversary. This past Monday morning, I was sitting in an all-staff briefing where we were talking about the war in Israel. And at that point in time, 800 Israelis had been murdered. And my colleague next to me whispered, "Oh my God, that's the entire mission." 20 buses of Jews. And as so many people have mentioned, the numbers are higher now, 1,200 as of 2 o'clock today. 14 Americans are dead, 20 are missing. There isn't a Jewish person in Miami who doesn't have at least one of the following: a niece, a nephew, a grandmother, or a grandfather spending the majority of their days huddling in bomb shelters. By the way, all the newer homes and buildings constructed in Israel have bomb shelters. Ask yourselves why. A cousin or a brother or a daughter who is fighting on the front lines of the war. A sister or a father or a mother who was kidnapped by Hamas or is missing. A family member or a friend or acquaintance who was murdered sometime since Saturday. If you know a Jewish person in Miami, you're connected to this. I could talk about the brutality that is Hamas. I could talk about the 1,200 innocent civilians they've beaten, raped, tortured, and kidnapped and murdered and posted online. As the Consul General mentioned, they're proud of what they're doing. Others have gone into detail on that, so I don't need to talk about that. What I do want to talk about, what you do need to know, is that Hamas's brutality is equal to that of ISIS or Al-Qaeda. You do need to know that these are the same people who shout death to America in the streets, who would have proudly flown planes into the Twin Towers or collaborated with the Nazis. You need to know that they are comfortable killing Jews gruesomely because they think we're less than human. And so when we fight back, as we always do, we have to fight them with full force for as long as it takes. We have to treat Hamas like we treated ISIS and Al-Qaeda because they are the same. They are evil and they must be annihilated. For those of you who may ask, what about the Palestinian people during this war? Hamas is willing to indiscriminately attack civilians, Israeli civilians. What do you think they're willing to do to their own people? The best thing for Palestinians is a swift Israeli victory. They deserve so much better than to be governed by terrorists. There's only one side to be on during this conflict, and it's Israel. Israel stands for democracy. Israel stands for Western values. Israel stands for decency and humanity. We all want peace. Now is not the time to call for peace. It will not create lasting peace. We must ask ourselves what we in the United States would do if this ever happened to us. We have to let Israel finish the job and weed the terrorists out by their roots. And then there will be peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. And I read the wrong position for you, so my apologies. You're the Community Relations Director from the Greater Miami Jewish Federation. Of course.
So Thank you for that, Rabbi. As just pointed out, there is an emergency fund for victims of terror that the Greater Miami Jewish Federation has opened. If you go to jewishmiami.org, you can donate, direct them to victims of terror and immediate needs of Israeli families. 100% of the donations will make their way to Israelis in need. www.jewishmiami.org. Thank you, Rabbi, for the reminder.
Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Miriam Singer, Chief Executive Officer of the Jewish Community Services of South Florida.
Thank you. Mayor and council members and Representative Woodson, who is our hometown heroine. Thank you so much for honoring us with this opportunity for our communities to come even closer together as a family. On behalf of the Board of Directors, the volunteers, and our team, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Bonsoir. Nous unis en foi et détermination pour supporter tout effort et avoquer pour tout ressource. Yo pour retourner na un état de la paix. Agence nous offre services gratuits pour tout le monde qui est affecté d'une crise santé mentale et pour résidents dans la communauté nous avons besoin support thérapie, un groupe pour famille ou soit individuel pour des grosses tragédies qui passent en Israël. Gayen en pile connexion avec l'État Israël, la aide communauté nous a. Équipe JCS le préparée pour supporter communauté. Nous on peut traverser tragédie nan yon c'est pas sécurité. JCS supporter Israël. Good evening. My name is Miriam Singer. I have the distinct privilege of serving as president and CEO of JCS, Jewish Community Services of South Florida. The unspeakable violence, terrorism, and senseless loss of life in Israel has deeply shocked us all. Civilians throughout the region continue to live in fear of more violence, more suffering, and more loss. I am outraged. I am horrified, and my heart is broken. In the face of unconscionable violence committed against the people of Israel and her supporters throughout the world, we rise. We rise together to provide strength, determination, and prayer to our Israeli brothers and sisters and loved ones who have lost so much throughout this unending series of tragic losses. JCS stands strongly with Israel and its right to defend, protect, and ensure the safety and security of every citizen. Our agency is no stranger to trauma. We are proud to care for our community during some of its most distressing times and stand ready to support those that are experiencing shock, grief, and struggling with immense trauma. As our community's safety net, JCS is proud to provide supportive services to impacted members of the community. Our culturally competent, trauma-informed mental health counselors will be providing free of charge small group support sessions this week and next week, as long as they are needed. These sessions are open to the public. Please call JCS at 211 by dialing 211. All languages, Haitian, Creole, Spanish, English, Hebrew. Tonight, I join our elected leaders and the office of our Mayor, Daniela Levine Cava, as one voice, one community, one heart, together, working from a place of strength and compassion to support the state of Israel. Elie Wiesel, of blessed memory, said, "Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormentor. Wherever men and women are persecuted because of their race, religion, or political views, that place must at that very moment become the center of the universe. Israel, you are the center of our universe. The opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Today and all the tomorrows to come, we will choose not to be indifferent. the people of Israel have an innate inclination for survival, a robust fighting spirit, and a sense of justice, and believe in our state, a civil society, in who we are for ourselves and for the sake of our children and our children's children, a civilized society. Israelis are a good, passionate, kind-hearted people, and JCS is guided by compassion and generosity that supports individuals and uplifts families, that hug those that are overwhelmed by these tidal waves of loss and despair, whose lives will never be the same again. The state of Israel will recover from this catastrophic tidal wave of barbaric violence and once again be the safe harbor for Jews and non-Jews fleeing persecution around the world. Am Yisrael Chai.
Not yet. Thank you so much for that, for those remarks. I just want to let everyone know we are running a little bit over schedule, and some people need to go home to their families. So much needs to be said this evening, but if we could try to keep the speakers to 1 to 2 minutes up here, that we would greatly appreciate that, so everyone has a chance to speak. Now I'd like to introduce Leah Pedron, South Florida Regional Director, from U.S. Senator Marco Rubio.
Good evening. I'll be brief. I have a letter. The senator couldn't be here. He, after the rally last night in Miami Beach, flew back to D.C., but he did want us to come and read a letter in his absence. Dear my fellow Floridians, it is with deep sadness that we are called to gather. Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and other terrorist organizations have shown their true intentions: to annihilate Israel, commit genocide against Jews, and terrorize innocent Israeli civilians. But they will not succeed. America will stand with our greatest ally in the Middle East, just as we always have. Our commitment should never be in doubt. Congress has a critical role to play in supporting Israel. As Vice Chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, I will work to ensure our government's intelligence sharing with Israel is continuous. My office also stands ready to assist Floridians and other Americans in Israel. Israel will need us in days, weeks, and months ahead, and we will be there for them, just as you all are here today. We remain united for Israel. Sincerely, Marco Rubio, U.S. Senator. Thank you.
And our sincere thank you to Senator Rubio. Now I'd like to call up Christine Del Portillo from U.S. Senator Rick Scott's office.
Good evening. The senator wanted to send some words of sympathy during, this difficult time for our Jewish friends. The atrocities that occurred during the Iranian-backed Hamas attacks and invasion of Israel cannot be ignored. Israel is at war, and I have been clear that there can be no tolerance for cause of de-escalation. We have seen the horrific images of elderly women, wheelchair-bound Holocaust survivor being dragged down the street by Hamas killers. We pray the United States must stand strong with Israel and defend its citizens and homeland. As the world witnesses these brutal acts of war and acts of terrorism against Israel, I believe that we are all past the time of saying each side should de-escalate. This attack was more evil and complex than ever before and requires the world to react in united support of Israel. We stand with Israel and believe that every American ally and partner must quickly condemn the invasion and acts of Hamas. My office stands ready to help and urges any Floridian with knowledge of an American in need to contact us immediately. Sincerely, Rick Scott, United States Senator. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Senator Scott. Now I'd like to introduce Alyssa Chesler from the Florida Friends of Israel Defense Forces. Alyssa's daughter, Golda, attended high school in Israel and graduated last spring, making official Aliyah to Israel just 3 weeks ago.
That was my whole speech. Thank you so much for having me. When I accepted the role just 3 short months ago to become the director of Miami for the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, my only concern was whether or not I would be able to handle the stress that comes when one's personal life intersects with their professional life. I have a daughter who moved to Israel in 2019 when she was 14 years old to attend high school to live her dream. She wanted to learn Hebrew and she wanted to become a lone soldier. For those who don't know, a lone soldier is a young Jewish boy or girl who gives up the comfort of their home here in the United States to defend the Jewish state. Even during COVID, when she was isolated in her room alone, I would ask her if she wanted to come back, and her response was, "No, Mommy, I'm where I'm supposed to be." This was her dream. And as you know, she officially became a citizen in August, and everything was on track until Saturday morning. My daughter is devastated. This morning, I thought that 3 of her friends were killed. I've recently learned it's up to 7. She's 18 years old. Her dream is not coming true at the moment. And when I asked her, "Really, how are you feeling?" this amazing child said to me, "Too bad. Thank God I still can have dreams." We have all witnessed the atrocities committed by these terrorists and continue to read about their intentions, and it's hard to imagine the evil that must be within these creatures. Fortunately, we have the Israeli military to right this wrong and restabilize the region. FIDF is the sole organization authorized by the IDF, by the Israel Defense Forces, to collect charitable donations on behalf of the soldiers. The current needs are humanitarian in nature and center around urgent medical care, from armored ambulances, imagine that, armored ambulances, where doctors can perform surgical procedures on site, to basic scrubs. We are the ones who get the funds into their hands in real time. And as an aside, yesterday they asked for 3.7 million shekels worth of plasma, and within minutes we were able to wire them the funds needed. No other organization can do what we do. So why should you care about Israel? I'm going to give you 2 reasons. One, Israel is the gateway to the West. It's a democratic, westernized nation with values and morals that mirror this country. Remember, the United States is founded with Judeo-Christian values, Judeo being the Jewish part. And for many Jews around the world, it's our only hope for existence. If Israel falls, we have nowhere to go. And 2, beauty in the souls of these soldiers. And I know I don't encourage anybody to watch any of these horrific videos, but the videos I do encourage you to watch are these young men in uniform getting ready to cross into Gaza. And look at their eyes. There is a light. There is a deep beauty. They're the only army in the world that is forced to go into battle as an act of defending a nation because they love that nation. They're going in to be faced with horrific in horrific situations, and yet they go in with love. They go in with love for their family and their friends. They go in because they love Jewish tradition. They love that they have a language all their own, Hebrew, which was a dead language, the only dead language that is now not dead. They go in because they love their history, they love their Torah, their Bible, and they love their land. So I encourage you to look at those eyes, and you will only see love. Thank you.
Jory Lang, please.
Rabbi Aaron Asheroff, who is the head of the Jewish Culture School, which is a Orthodox Jewish high school in North Miami. Rabbi?
I came in my Hebrew desert attire today, if you haven't noticed. So many rabbis wear suits and jackets, and I figured all the dignitaries here would do it. But I'll tell you why, and why my fringes are hanging out. It's because the school took upon themselves a mission. Do not hide your Jewish identity. So I want everyone to see us from far away, near and far. You see this big white yarmulke here? I could hide it with the color of my hair. That's not going to work for us here, folks. You did such a beautiful job today, but we have a dozen students downstairs that couldn't get in because of the overflow. But they're rooting from downstairs. But we came after school hours because of how important this is. I'm going to share with you one prayer because I had the unfortunate job of this week to welcome back our students and had to make sense of why they are seeing babies slaughtered on TV. So I had nothing to really say or justify. And these are children. These are teens. We're not adults like here, sitting in this room. And I said, we have two things we can do. One, I can help you with. The other, we have to rely on amazing friends like the United States of America and the Israeli army. But the tool that we have is prayer. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to lead you guys with a short psalm. And I'm going to read it in English because it's unbelievably ironic that the Jewish people for 40 days just finished a psalm that we say every day as we lead to the high holidays. Look at the language. The language in the LeDavid Hashem Uri, we say it for 40 days. The last two sentences, I can't make this stuff up. It says, do not subject me to the will of my foes. In the Hebrew text, it says Hamas. This is actually what it's written. Those are our foes, or false witnesses. And we see a lot of people in the world who unfortunately do not want to be honest. And unjust accusers have appeared against me. Had I not the assurance that I would enjoy the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, look to the Lord, be strong and good and courageous, and look to the Lord. My friends, I thank you for your support, unwavering support. Without our friends in the world, evil would win. God bless America and God bless Israel.
Now I'd like to introduce Pastor Abil Mir.
Thank you everyone for the opportunity to join you for this gathering. My name is Abil Mir. I serve as a pastor at Harvest Church, a local church, and we have the unique opportunity and blessing that we get to gather every Sunday at Beth Moshe. I know we're not a Jews for Jesus group. We are not a messianic group. We are a Bible-believing evangelical church, and I just want to say that Harvest Church and Christians everywhere, every Bible-believing Christian in the world stands with Israel. We all know that we look to a Jewish rabbi, but we all worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so we pray the God of covenant, when he's covenant to his people, that he will grant them peace. He said it through Ezekiel, that he will give them a land for them to dwell, that he will act in favor for his people once again. And I pray that the fear of God, of the only true God, will fall upon Hamas and over every Hamas cell in the U.S. and anywhere in the world, and over every heart that harbors hate towards Israel. and that God will work and that we will see from him a supernatural act that will turn the hearts of many back to him. Psalm 121 says, I look up to the hills, where does my help come from? And right in that psalm, he says, the one who watches over Israel does not slumber or sleep. He is with you. God bless you all.
Thank you so very much. Now I'd like to introduce Leslie Gelruben Benita, founder of The Last Ones. Leslie is a founder of The Last Ones, a nonprofit in Miami. She has spent the last 6 years traveling the globe documenting the oral history of the last surviving Holocaust survivors. Her documentaries had 4.3 million views on TikTok since 2023. Leslie.
This all happened on what is supposed to be, for us, one of the happiest days on the Jewish calendar, Simchat Torah, the joy of the Torah. Needless to say, there was no joy that day. I've been searching for the right words since that bloody Saturday, words to encapsulate maybe what I feel. I'm looking at the lifeless bodies scattered on the ground, carried shamelessly like prices, elderly women taken away on trucks, children forcibly removed from their parents and placed in cages like animals. This is happening in 2023 in a country that was established 75 years ago with the promise that Jews would never endure such horrors again. I'm filled with rage. As the granddaughter of 4 Holocaust survivors, I cannot bear to see lives being snuffed out simply for the crime of being Jewish. More Jews were killed during Saturday's assault than on any single day since the end of the Holocaust. I have a thought for my grandparents, a thought heavy and with excruciating pain, but also I have to admit, with a paradoxical gratitude that they are no longer here to witness this horror that humanity had sworn never to revisit. We often say, never again. Well, never again is now. I'm glued 24/7 to the news and social media, seeing the shocked faces and feeling the distress of my loved ones who weep and cry out in anger. Anger about victims brutally killed, beaten, raped, abducted, slaughtered, beheaded, burnt alive. And all these scenes of horrors are filmed and displayed in front of crowds fueled by hatred of Jews. Why do some so-called social justice activists, intellectual, feminists, figures whom I used to read, admire, support, publish so many nonsenses? They see these gruesome videos of little girls being raped and killed or dragged through streets, and then they rush online to explain why there's a reason it's okay. No, it's not okay. There is no excusing this. I don't think they think they're advocating for human rights, but no, they are not advocating for human rights. This is the opposite. It is plain and simple an endorsement of terrorism. These influencers have probably been taught to believe that it's somehow okay to kill Jewish people. They've been told that Jewish lives are not as important as their own. It's like following a terrible script from the past, like the Nazis. I'm sorry. This is how anti-Semitism has grown in our society for a long time. Today, like so many others, I grieve and I rage. I grieve for the victims of this heinous terrorism by Hamas, a force of death that enslaves its own people and drags this region even further into chaos and devastating darkness. I raged against those who find the slightest excuse for them, or worse, applaud their bravery or resistance. No cause justifies this despicable terrorism. Never. And these men are no resistant freedom fighters of oppressed people. Hamas is a brutal, barbaric, inhuman terror organization. Hamas is not an entity, it's not a government, not a leadership, it is a terror organization. They murder and slaughter in cold blood innocent babies, children, elderly women and men in their homes, in their beds. It's crucial to make it clear that Israel is our indigenous homeland. You can applaud. It is. There is only one democratic Jewish state, while there are 22 Muslim states around. People in the United States who use words like apartheid, colonizer, or occupier are grossly misinformed and push us further away from peace every day. Israel withdrew from Gaza in 2005 and has offered peace proposals multiple times, but they were rejected, often due to external influences favoring conflict over peace. What happened in recent days highlights this tragic reality where innocent civilians were intentionally attacked by terrorists. This is a moment for unity and accurate information instead of spreading misinformation based on unfounded beliefs. Regardless of our opinions on the Israeli government's policies or the legitimate rights of all parties in this territory, the Palestinians deserve better than vile support in their name for a murderous, sadistic organization. Make no mistake, the revolt against the terrorist aggression Israel is facing is not just the matter for Jews. It's everyone's concern. We all have an integral role to play in making our world a more peaceful and better place. If it's not safe for one of us, it's not safe for any of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Now I'd like to introduce Princeton Jean Glaude, Chairman of the Haitian Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I extend a heartfelt thank you to the leadership of the City of North Miami for making this day possible. Truly, there's no call more important to answer than the one that unites us in solidarity. And also, I would like to say thank you to all the speakers tonight for their courage. It's not politics. Courage is not politics when you stand for what's right. I'm Princeton Jean Glaude, Chairman of the Haitian Chamber of Commerce of Florida. My personal focus, always strong commerce, especially in the healthcare industry. In time like this, we all can agree we need some healing. Today, we gather here today to see how Israel is hurting. We cannot ignore that fact. To see what's going on in the street of Israel. Let me share a little bit of history. Haiti and Israel have shared a moment of compassion and support for decades. Back during World War II, Haiti opened its door to the Jewish refugees, and that's the reason why we have a Jewish community in Haiti today. 1938 in the conference, Haiti stood as a voice of empathy, not closing its door to the Israeli people. But in our darkest moment, in 2010, Israel was the first to be Haiti to help support the victim of the earthquake, setting up a field hospital, offering invaluable support. I believe if Israel has its way, they'd probably be in Haiti right now helping us. Friend, life is sacred across borders, religion, and political states. I'll say again, this is not politics. No belief system can justify the hate and the violence that we witnessed over the weekend. To quote a Haitian saying, "Mais en pile chai palou." Many hands make the load lighter. It's through that dialogue and understanding that we find the path for peace. As I stand here today, I don't know if I have the voice for all Haitian, but I would say me, in the city of North Miami, we stand together with the city, with Israel. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. The mayor and the council of the city of North Miami would like to thank so very much all the dignitaries that have come from all over South Florida to be with us tonight. We really, really, really do appreciate that support and the time that you've taken to be here. I would now like to introduce Reverend Dr. Gaston E. Smith, Vice President of the Afro-American Conference of Christian Clergy. He had to leave. Okay. Oh, we're so sorry. We would have loved to have heard from him, but we thank him for his support. And now I'd like to introduce Rabbi Avraham Lipschitz, the Jewish Center Chabad of North Miami.
Anti-Semitism, anti-Zionists, we stand with Israel, we stand with the Jewish people. When I hear these words, I think we're missing the mark. Let me share with you what anti-Semitism really is all about. People see the Jewish people as the heart of Homo sapiens. Let me tell you what anti-Zionism is all about. People see the land of Israel as the heart of the globe. So I want to share with you that what we're talking about here now is not just anti-Semitism. We're not talking about anti-Zionists. We're not talking about the policies of any given country. That's not what we're talking about here. Because if we're to talk about that here, that gives many of us sitting in the crowd, outside, the luxury of saying, we're safe, we're here for you. Really? 9/11? Paris? Can we go on and on? Is there anyone here that can say that we, as a free people, are here to support one specific people amongst people, nation amongst nations? I think it's important. I have a rule when I do marriage counseling, parent-children counseling. I have a rule. We don't talk about the person that's not by the table. You're wasting my time. So let's talk about the people who are here. Let's talk about what this means to us. What is it for us to do? And to understand that, indulge me to share with you a little bit of Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. You see, how many Satans do you think exist in the universe? Anyone? How many Satans exist? No, one. What that means is that if we here can weaken Satan through our work, we have weakened the exact same Satan of Hamas, ISIS, and every other heartbeat of evil. I want to share with you, let's get practical. Let's not talk about just a land that's so far away that we need to send money to. Yes. My 27-year-old moved to Nachalot, Jerusalem, 15 days ago. And he went to go ahead and say, hey, I'm here. Put me in green. And they told him, what I need from you is to tell your friends that we need helmets, we need jackets, we need bulletproof vests. So I don't want to talk to you just about the land of Israel and the Jewish people. I want to talk about us. Because in the world of Kabbalah, everything is macroscopic, microscopic, and macroscopic is made up of microscopic. We can't sit in this room and talk about anti-Semitism, terror, hatred, and then go back to a place where it has to become a rule that in shul we don't talk politics, because people don't know how to talk about ideals without talking about people? How can we go ahead, a member of the clergy, amongst other members of the clergy, and thank you all who showed up. Can anyone tell me anywhere in the Bible, the Torah, that God has called any human being an abomination? I don't care what verse you want to talk to me about. I don't care what fight you want to fight. But when we cross the line to think that God would call any human an abomination, when we can't separate people from lifestyles, when we can't separate the war of God and understand that the ultimate war of God is tolerance and love. That is the war of God. And at the end of the day, what's more dangerous than anything else is the holy war. Because I'd love to look away, but the big man said I can't. Really? Really? So people, if we want to fight this war, I'm going to put out there two things that Israel needs. Number one, everyone is in awe and shock and disgust. But this war, if we just do what we have to do right now and today and tomorrow, and then we go back to the same old song, Israel, you've got to show restraint. Let me share with you. Asking Israel to show restraint is to support the next terror act. I want to share with you that what's really important is what one person, I got to do fundraising, So one person told me, Rabbi, you don't ask and what's the word? The squeaky wheel gets oiled. Well, let me tell you who's squeaking right now on social media. People who love hate. And eventually that will get through. Eventually, it's going to express itself in people. You're the might. You're the country that has all these great military weapons. You're the one that has to show restraint. So what we need is every single one of us in this room needs to become a squeaky wheel. That's what needs to be done. We need to go out there and talk. And yes, on my page, you're going to see Stand with Israel. But please, don't separate that from Stand with Humanity. That's what this is really all about. Which leads me back to the Kabbalah. So, I've just met today Elisa. And within 4 seconds, I can tell you that that same serpent that spoke to Eve, the same serpent and Satan that told these people in the name of God to kill, is the exact same serpent that's going to tell me, we're two Jewish people, we're working in Jewish organizations, though I've got a juicy piece of gossip for you. It's the exact same Satan. Do you know, testis, children are incapable of racism. Bring a child into a public park. They don't know color. They don't know anything. All they know is, here's a kid, I'm a kid, I want to have fun. So let me share with you, the IDF will take care of today's haters. But let's talk about tomorrow's haters. There is no war in the world that will eradicate hatred. That will only happen around your dinner table and in the classroom. The slightest tolerance for a racist joke, you're giving birth to the next generation of Hamas, of ISIS, of all the persecution we know. So let's be real. If we're here to fight this war for Israel, let's do our part. Yes, send what they need. But don't walk out of here with the slightest comment of another person, another lifestyle, another form of sexual preference. Don't. Do not do that. Because then we are the little Satan and we feed the big Satan. It's just that simple. It is important to become what we want to see. And with this, I will close. When they asked the sage Hillel, I will convert if you teach me the entire Torah on one leg. What did Hillel answer? Ma lecha sani lechavercha al taseh. What you hate being done to you, don't do unto others. What's amazing about that teaching is there's no exception clauses. There is no, well, I have to fight that, or I have to speak up against. Simple rule. If you're speaking against God's children, and I do not mean here the Jewish people, I mean everyone that comes from Adam and Eve. If you're speaking against God's children, you're speaking against God. End of story. No matter what you're going to put that banner in. If you're going to fight against the people who hold a rainbow flag, you are fighting against God's children. If you're fighting against the people who do what you don't believe in, if you're fighting against the people who sit on the other side of the aisle, you're just another Hamas member with a tie. Sophisticated. Holy. So let's stop the games. Let's learn to really love and accept every single human being. I don't have to accept everything you stand for. I don't have to accept everything you choose in life. But I have to stand for you. Because if I don't stand for you here in North Miami, there is a Jewish infant that's going to be killed in Israel. So if we're gathering here, let's make it real, people.
Those were some exceptionally powerful words, and that's why you're a rabbi. I want to thank everybody once again for being here this evening. I want to express once again on behalf of all Jews in our communities to the mayor and the council of North Miami for putting together the solidarity rally. It means the world to all of us. And I want you to know, and everyone, just as the rabbi said, please stand up for Israel, stand up for us. Go on social media, make a statement. And when you see statements that you don't agree with, try to make it right. Try to tell all of your friends what you've heard here tonight, because that will go through and reverberate throughout the community. So thank you again. And one thing I do want to say before I leave, and then we have just one more. The city of North Miami is lighting up City Hall in blue tonight. And it will continue to be blue. And that is truly amazing. And once again, thank you all. Rabbi Cantor Dimitri.
And let's all close with everything. If you guys do not know this word, just everyone say, Am Israel Chai. Together? And it goes like this. Am Israel Chai. Together. Am Israel Chai. Am Israel. Am Israel. Am Israel Chai. Am Israel Chai. Hey! Am Israel Chai. Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel Chai. Am Israel Chai. Am Israel Chai. Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel Chai. Together. O Davino, O Davino, O Davino Chai. O Davino, O Davino, O Davino Chai. Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel Chai. Together. Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel Chai.